Sorry about that. So I'm like, where is she? And I'm like, oh, I didn't send her the password in the Zoom. This is life. This is life. I'm so excited. So once I have confirmation that she's on, okay, she's on. Yeah, hey mom. All right, you guys, I'm just so pumped and so honored and so excited to be here with all of you. I am Kay Dixon. We're not going to do intros tonight because we have Pam Sowder, the queen, on, and she is going to be pouring in so deep to us tonight on mindset. And we have some phenomenal questions. So Amanda has made all of the leaders that are speaking tonight co-hosts. So I'm not going to start. I am going to be the moderator here. I'm going to be the timekeeper. I'm going to be sharing some amazing tips, but I want to come back through. I just want to make sure I have all my notes together because I literally just put my babies in bed and my husband too. So that was a big ordeal in my household tonight. I'm just really honored and excited. I'm an ambassador and I've been with this company for 12 years. In a few months, it'll be 12 years, which is just so absolutely crazy and exciting. And we have some really good nuggets for all of you. So if you haven't already, tell your teams, text them, call them if you have to, put it on your team pages, put it in your team chats, let them know that there is some important information being dropped tonight and they need to be on to absorb this information. So I am going to start with Amanda. Amanda, just because I see you right here smiling in my face, Amanda Busher has become such a good friend of mine and just someone I'm inspired by every single day in this business. So Amanda, I'm going to set the timer for, I'll start with 5 minutes and then we'll see how that goes. So thank you, Amanda.
Of course. Thanks, friend. And thank you for always keeping me on time too. You know that I need that. So I'm so excited, you guys, just to give you a few tips. And I hope that you guys take these tips and you use them as soon as we get off. My tips are how to utilize those $39 codes, right? We want to enroll so many distributors, welcome them to our team, help them grow their business, help them make their Christmas cash. And we want to make cash too, right? So here are my tips, you guys. I'm going to talk fairly quickly so I can give you all of these good nuggets. And this is how I literally get distributors every single month, you guys. I average probably about 10 to 20 distributors every month. I'm already at 16 distributors just by this method, you guys. And I just started getting into reels. But I have gotten 16 distributors just from these methods this month so far. So number one, you guys, is you have to set a goal of how many distributors you guys want every single day, but also at the end of the month. Like, how many distributors do you want at this month? Do you have 20 codes, 10 codes this month, 10 codes next month? So your goal is to get those 10 plus distributors this month and next month, okay? So number one, you guys, is set your goal. Number two is you want to ask everyone, okay? And I'm gonna list off exactly who I ask, and after I'm all done, I'll even give you guys some of my scripts that I use on exactly how I ask people. I keep things so simple, and I just remember it is a numbers game. I put my mechanical hat on, and I just get to work. So number one is under asking, you guys, is you want to ask everyone who hosts a post for you. Okay, so if we have a goal to get 10 people to host a post for us, that is 10 people within 24 hours every single day that we can ask, hey, thank you so much for posting for me. Can I ask you, are you interested in making some extra money? You know, it can be just so simple like that. I got 3 distributors yesterday just by asking them if they are interested after they have posted for me. So asking all hosts a post, you guys, okay? Number 2 is asking all potential customers. So before your customer is ready to order, simply say, hey, before I put this order in, I have to ask you, are you interested in making some extra money and using the products? You don't ask them, because so often, you guys, they don't know that there's even an opportunity to make money with this. They just think that, you know, it's the products. So ask your potential customers before they enroll. Number 3, you guys, is ask all of your current customers. I get so many distributors just by asking my current customers within their first month. After they get their products and they're loving them, I will immediately ask them, hey, I see that you are loving your products. You're loving the taste of the coffee. By chance, would you be interested in making some extra money? I think you would be so amazing at what I do, and you can use the products and have your results, you know, to build your business. So ask all of your current customers within their first 30 days. Okay. Ask everyone who views your stories. Okay. I absolutely love this one because so often, you guys, we put up stories, but we wait for people to either vote on our polls or reach out to us from them. What I do is anyone who actually views my story, you guys, they will get a message from me. And say my story was about the opportunity, I send them a message right on that story. So my little graphic pops up in their messenger and I just say, hey, Kate, thank you so much for watching my stories today. Are you interested in making some extra money? I would love to share with you a little bit about what I do. Okay, so it's just simply asking. And I always think the worst that they're gonna say is no, and that's not even a bad thing. Okay, but what I'm looking for is I want to know who is curious, who's been interested, who's watching. And so it's just simply asking and planting those seeds. The other thing I do is a couple times a week, I will go through my A through Z list on Facebook or on Instagram, and I message a handful of people, and I just send them a message. If we have talked about the hosted post or we've talked about the products, I will send them a message and just say, hey, Michelle, I just wanted to reach out, and I know this is so random, but would you be interested in making some extra money? I think you would be so amazing at what I do. And so I just ask them, okay? And so that's number one, is to ask. And just know, you guys, it's a numbers game. So if you are asking 5 people versus 50 people every day, you're going to get way bigger results and way more seeds planted with that 50 that you just asked. Okay, so just remember, it's a numbers game. The more you ask, the more you're going to get. So when you're asking, there's a couple things that go along with this, okay? After you're asking, you also want to make sure that you are so consistent in certain areas of your daily work. So that KPI list needs to be so consistent every single day. So with that, after you ask, what you just did is I just asked Melissa, and I just planted that little seed in her head. But now what she's going to go do is she's going to go scope out my page. She's going to go scope out my stories to see if I'm legit, like if I'm serious about my business. So I want to make sure that I am constantly putting great content in my newsfeed, in my posts, in my Facebook, great graphics in my stories. That way it is just so consistent. Is that it? Okay, just 2 more things with the consistency. You want to make sure that you are consistent getting host-to post out. Okay, because if you get 10 host-to posts out every day, that's 10 people you can ask. And then the other thing, you guys, is start doing reels. I'm just learning, and if you guys can get out of my comfort zone with this, you guys got to do it too. So study getting distributors and rolling them, and just pray for people to come into your team. You guys, I promise you, your business will just grow so tremendously when you do that. So, okay, I'm done.
Oh, good. Okay. I know you guys took a lot of notes because I definitely did. Amanda always shows up. I just love, Amanda, how you are so consistent with your enrollments and you always speak your truth from the front. And it just inspires me every time I hear you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So we have Allie Antonacci. Did I ever say your name right? I feel like I always watch the last. Did I do it? Antonacci?
You did it.
Gosh.
It's rare, but you did it.
Did it. I'm amazing. All right. You're incredible. Thank you so much for sharing today. I'm going to set the timer and you got this, girl.
Perfect. Okay. Hey guys, I'm Allie. I'm an ambassador. I've been in about 7.5 years. And the biggest thing when we said, okay, we're going to talk about enrollment. And so often everyone's like, okay, so what's the magic message? How many do you have to send? It is a numbers game. And absolutely, like my mantra to my team is like, you cannot get a yes to a question you don't ask. Right? Like you can't get a no either, but you can't get any answer if you don't ask that. And that comes down to, the numbers game like Amanda was talking about. But what I want to talk to you guys a little bit about, you can ask thousands of people to join your team, but if your belief is not there, they won't join you. And here's what I mean by that, is that if you do not feel like you will be successful, not like you can be or that other people do, like that you will be successful in this business and that you are worthy of that success, that you are worthy of that leadership, if you are worthy of that, no one is going to join you, because there is an energy that comes out when you speak to people, especially if you're using voice messages and phone calls, which you totally should, because that's how people hear your excitement and they hear your confidence. They have to hear your voice. But you are going to be attracting the energy you put out. So if you're putting out this energy of like, I mean, okay, I'm going to try this for like 90 days, but like, gosh, who does this really work for? That's exactly what you're going to get back. But if you are putting out the, I'm going to go make $1 million, you coming with me or not, they're going to be like, heck yeah, I'm on board, because they want to be part of that. So if your belief isn't there that you are truly worthy of this, that you will make this happen, that you will succeed, like you don't care if it takes you 2 years or 10 years to get to the top, like you're doing it, then you're going to really always struggle at getting people to come in, and then also getting them to stay in with you, because your belief isn't there and you're not going to be able to cast that to them. So who are you surrounded with? Are you surrounding yourself with those friends and family who have maybe kind of been haters? Are you surrounding yourself with a spouse that's getting annoyed when you're on the phone? And that's going to be in your life. So to get that belief, you have to overcompensate with the other stuff. Who is in your circle? Who are you surrounded with? What content are you absorbing? You don't have to be best friends with Pam and Stephanie Dunn and Rachel Hollis to absorb their content, to have them in your circle. I can tell you that if I am ever having a bad day, I immediately go to Pam's podcast, because I feel like she's speaking to me, and she's like, it's like, the next best thing to having a phone call with Pam is like, you get on her podcast and you hear that. So you consume their content. So are you being consumed with belief and excitement and drive and motivation, or are you so whatever you're surrounding yourself with more is what's going to be in your head. And then not last, but almost last, connecting to those leaders through corporate, the show me the money calls every Monday night. My first 6 months of this business, I didn't have my own story, but I used theirs. I learned their stories. There are so many leaders who are just unbelievable at sharing their story every single day. And I highly encourage you to put them as your C first. So every time you open Facebook, you see someone like boldly sharing their story and inspiring you to do the same thing. Kay is one of mine. She's one of my C first. She has been for years, because every time I see her post, I'm like, yep, oh my gosh, her vision, it's right there. So I want to say, like, you guys need to consume that too and connect to the leaders to be able to share their stories, so you have your last stories. And then lastly, if you're not journaling and speaking out what you want, it can hinder your mindset. So journaling the abundance every single day, I write that I am so grateful for how my business is absolutely exploding. I have people chasing me down to join my team. My inbox is absolutely overflowing with people who want to make massive orders and make money with me. I write that how thankful I am that some of my future best friends are coming into my business and going to be true partners with me. These are the sort of things that you can journal, because the more you write them and the more you say them, the more you're going to get them in your head, and it's going to stick with it. And that's journaling with anything, but especially when it comes to distributors. I mean, I highly suggest that you write down and then read it out loud to yourself about how people are chasing you down to join your team, that you're an unbelievable leader, that you are, whatever goal you're going for, ruby, emerald, diamond this month, speak it into existence. What you want your business to look like, write it as though it already is.
Perfect timing. I mean, it couldn't have been any better. 5 minutes on the nose. All right, Emily, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
That was awesome, Allie. Thank you so much. You were like breathing life into so many incredible people in this chat. They're like, okay, I'm claiming my power. I love it so much. Emily, welcome tonight. I'm so excited to hear what you have to say this evening. Give us all your good nuggets.
Okay, so first is success leaves clues. So some things I have in my notes, they already said, which is great because we all have to hear us over and over again. It's so normal. But number one that I have is your belief, guys. Your belief is huge. That is number one. I mean, honestly, like all the tips that we're giving you, you can't take action. You can take action, but if you don't believe in the system, if you don't believe in the business, if you don't believe that you can do this, people are going to know that. People are going to feel your energy. So how can you possibly sell this opportunity to someone if you can't sell it to yourself, right? So your belief is number one. That's so stinking important. Trusting in the system and trusting in the process and knowing that it takes time. So keep in mind that if you're new and you're listening to all of us and we're on the Zoom, you know, we're like mass CT enrollers, you're like 10 to 20 a month, what? Maybe you're just working on that one. Focus on that one, right? But also know that we have been planting seeds too. So it's sometimes a lot of the distributors I enroll, I've been following up with or talking to for months or even a few years, right? So do not ever compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. And that's something that's super important. And I always have to be intentional about telling everyone that I talk about this with. But just like Amanda said, it's a numbers game, right? So how many new people are you reaching out to a day, right? How many new people are you talking to about the business opportunity every single day? Because that plays a big part in it as well. And we have these codes, right? So that's a huge, exciting one. All right, the next thing is posting, guys, and showing up. So stinking important. And something with this too that they were talking about, you got to be willing to step out of your comfort zone. These reels are a lot of fun. Have fun with this. This business is fun, right? Show up. Go do live. I know you may be scared, but trust me, I believe in you because I'm scared too when I get on a live, right? I had to put myself up getting on here too, but I'm telling you, you're not going to die. You'll do it and it's going to feel really, really, really good after. But you should be sharing this opportunity in some way, shape, or form every day. And my best advice with that is, you know, maybe if you're new or if you're struggling with that, find like 2 people in this business that you really look up to and watch what they do, watch what they post and duplicate that. Just put it into your own words and in your own life. Okay, planting seeds. Again, Amanda said this, but you need to be sharing this opportunity with every single person that you talk to. I'll never forget hearing Joel Dunn say that if Steph Dunn enrolls a loyal customer, it's on accident because she's literally talked to every single person about the opportunity. So your loyal customers, I'm bringing it up to them. Post to post, just like Amanda said, every single person, and be you, be casual with it, right? Just be like, hey, I'd be doing you a disservice if I didn't tell you about this opportunity. Have you ever thought about making an extra income from home? That's it. Be so simple, guys. You don't have to send scripts. It can be so easy. All right. Another thing is connecting and relating, guys. This is huge. This has been a massive asset in my business. So for example, sending voice messages to people, getting on the phone with them, right? And maybe if you're terrified of it, ask your enroller to do a 3-way call with you. I just did a 3-way Zoom today and with one of my new girls and her potential distributors signing up tomorrow, right? And not only that, but you're also learning, right? You're hitting multiple birds with one stone. And in this way, you can start doing your own. But I think this is very important because how many of us are working this business or doing this business? How are you going to stand out, right? By being you. You know, if you send a voice message, you send a video, you get on the phone and you make a mistake, you embarrass yourself, well, guess what? You're human. So I just encourage you guys to really do that because that's something that has been really powerful. The last thing, I don't know how long I've been talking, but following up. This is huge. You guys cannot be afraid to be persistent with following up. I tell my team all the time, you're doing people a huge disservice if you're not bringing the business opportunity up to everyone, but if you're not being consistent and persistent with the follow-up as well. So don't give up, plant the seeds, and keep on with that follow-up because they will eventually come. Okay.
Right on the money. Like we're getting really good at this. So I love it so much. Before we go, thank you so much, Emily. I feel like I get so much out of this. I know that you guys too. So as you are, make sure you're dropping your aha moments in the chat because it breathes life into us too as leaders. We love to see how you're transforming tonight. You know, I'd like to just share something with you guys that I shared with the girls in the chat earlier, and that is one of the things that I noticed that my top leader friends in the company were doing was showing up daily on Instagram stories and in different ways. One is sharing the opportunity, but also in one is sharing the products. And I noticed that even for me, I found myself thinking, okay, I've been doing this for almost 12 years. Like a lot of my followers know what I do. And I realized had that thought in the back of my head, like they know that I sell greens and keto coffee and skinny brew. And I don't even know why I actually thought this. It just seemed like I didn't want to overstimulate them or throw up all over them, these products that I'm already using every single day. I mean, I'm back here drinking Hydrate out of a glass. Like I drink and use our products all day long. So I made the decision that I was going to show up daily on my stories every single day with my keto coffee, because every single day I made keto coffee. And I just made the decision that I was going to do that. And there wasn't going to be anything that compromised that, anything that got in the way with it, that my coffee story was going to show up every single day. And since I started doing that a couple weeks ago, not only did I have like team members notice and say something and friends notice and say something, but my existing customers, even just my existing customers that were watching me, started adding more products to their cart. And they're like, oh, can you send me a fat burning weight loss list? Can you tell me where, even just asking me like, can you tell me where you got that frother? And then it ignited a conversation of, hey, do you want to, or, you know, are you interested in trying this? Have you added this to your cart yet this month? And it started a whole conversation. Not only that, it's been like, I've got to try this. I am dying to know what you've been using. This is so interesting. I'm getting an insight into your life and what products you're using. And here I was thinking that they knew. And I don't know why they thought that, but I realized with stories, you guys, stories is like the insider look into your life. And I wasn't sharing enough of my life. A story takes 15 seconds or less to capture of just what you're doing right now in your every single day. And more than ever, people just want to feel more connected. And because we're in such a social distance world right now, I'm realizing stories are even more impactful. And so because I started showing up daily on my stories for my products, I noticed they started paying more attention to my posts. And then they started engaging more on my posts. And so it started this trickle effect where now my influencer application is blowing up again. It's like having a resurgence because people are starting to pay more attention. But I want to tell you from a social media perspective, if your stories are getting more views, then you are going to get more views on social media. And so your posts are going to be more seen. Your reels are going to be more seen. And so they all work sort of synergistically. So I found this out just by a simple product post that I was being consistent with every single day. And I was talking to one of my leaders yesterday, and I was saying it's not screen grabbing another leader's story. It's not showing another person's story of them making their product. It's you making your product. They need to see you. They know. And now I even make it like an expectation of, hey, you know, it's that time again. It's that fat burning coffee time, and I'm on my way to Pure Bar. And then they start asking me questions about Pure Bar, and I'm going, oh yeah, I use these products to get better results. And okay, well, I want to order that. If that's what you're doing, I want to buy that product. And so I think the biggest aha moment I had with this is when I literally made the decision and did my first story with my coffee. I walked to my office in the afternoon to sit down and get some work done. And I had just put the boys down for naps. And I got a message immediately. I mean, like not even 5 minutes later from a girl. And she ended up buying keto coffee and chocolate greens and adding another product to her cart. And she had never bought from me before. And I didn't even know she was watching my stories, but it's the first one that I did. I'm like, I'm doing this every day. I'll do this 5 times a day if I have to make coffee. So it really just like ignited a flame within me. And honestly, you guys, it gave me a resurgence in my passion for this. Like I realized there's a whole world of people out there that we think they know, but they don't know. And so it like ignited this fire within me to promote again and to like focus on my 2.0 and build my 2.0 to double diamond and like do this stuff that like I didn't know that I needed that. I had no idea until I just made the decision. And so I wanted to share all of you. It's just like make the decision, make a decision for yourself and your business right here, right now. Yours could be like a Ashley Mayfield decision where you're going to go live on your Facebook every single day and share a tip. That's her decision. My decision is my coffee story on Instagram. That feels right to me. It aligns with my lifestyle and every single day. What is your decision? Your decision may simply be today that you are making the decision to promote in your business because you showed up here for a big, big reason. And Mom and I were talking about this today. We were talking about coming here and talking about mindset. And I said, Mom, the biggest catalyst for me is I just started looking around my house. I mean, come on, this is 2020. It's been weird. And I'm like, what do I want to do in my home to finish what we started here? What furniture do I want to buy? What wallpaper do I want to put on my walls? How do I want to feel in my home? How do I want my kids to feel? What can I do to up level our life here? And I started really dreaming again. And so I feel like when you have passion, daily passion, your build up and your belief system just starts catapulting. And then you go, oh, that's what I'm working for. I'm working for that Disney trip that might happen in 2021, but I'm also working for, maybe it's that new sofa you want for your living room because you're always watching movies with your family now. You really need to decide what that thing is that you're excited about and holding on to. I saw a double diamond on our team today. Get a new car. And I'm like, that just like lights my soul on fire that we have the opportunity to help people succeed in that way. And so I say, be consistent with something, make the decision right now. And that's going to ignite a flame in you that you don't even know you have within you right now, because I can tell you from experience, it just happened to me and it's been recent. And it's just been like, I get up and I get to do my coffee story and I look forward to that daily. And it's changing the game on how I recruit and who I'm recruiting. And I know that it's going to do the same thing for you. So just had to share that. Mom, I know that you're on here. Can you say hello?
Hello.
There she is.
I'm drinking my collagen and listening to all of these bright women. Yes. Oh my gosh. And Allie, thank you for listening to the podcast. I do it for you. That's why I do it. I get the best of the best on there and they tell it like it is. All right, Kay, I'm going to follow the rules tonight. It'll be really hard. I may go over, but I'll try my best.
Well, I think the first question I just have for you is, before I go into their questions, is just listening to all of us today. I think I'd love to hear just what you have to add to that and everything we said today, because you've been building in the industry for, it works to be 20 years old.
Yeah.
So it's been 26 years, almost 27 years since you've been in the industry of multi-level marketing. I mean, that's like my whole life. You guys, I was 7 years old when she started in the industry. So think about you and your children and them watching you and everything. What can you add to that we just shared tonight?
Well, it just comes down to, I think that you said it in one word, a decision. It's like Allie, she gets caught up in something. She goes and listens to something that's going to fill her up because she knows my cup is not full right now. I'm not thinking correctly. And just writing down, sometimes for me, it's journaling. It's writing down, why am I feeling like this? Where are these thoughts coming from? And why am I going down this negative rabbit hole? Kay and I had this conversation today and I said, oh my gosh, I've gotten so caught up in the world today, and because I'm so sensitive to wanting freedom. Freedom for me is everything, especially as a woman. I've worked in corporate America and my experience was not good. This was back 30 years ago. And I just wanted more for my daughter, more for my family. And this industry gave me back that freedom, that the power to choose when I want to work, where I want to work, who I want to work with, and how much money do I want to make. And y'all, I talk a lot about money mindset because it is freedom. And so now for me, after what's going on with COVID and now the political arena, it's just freedom. I fight for it every single day. The biggest obstacle is my mind, freeing my mind of negative thoughts, negative patterns, and the belief of others that were instilled in me at an age when, I just didn't know. I wasn't aware. I've apologized to both my children. I said, I'm so sorry if I have messed you up, but I did the best that I could at that moment, or I would have done better. And I did I not, Kay? I apologized. And I still may make mistakes, but I get over it very quickly, because we are here to make known the unknown. That's it. What do I not know? Oh, here it comes. It's going to come. And how fast do I want to gain the wisdom of that? And so for me, watching all of you tonight, wow, from the first time that I met you, you have grown into the most beautiful young women, and you're fighting every day as if your life depended on it, because it absolutely does. That's how serious this is, what we're doing right here. This is not play. This is serious business. All
Yeah.
right.
I love that. Okay. So we each have a question that we would like to ask you on mindset. And so we're going to go through and ask you those questions. So Amanda, would you like to go first again?
Yes, absolutely. Hi, Pam.
Hi.
Thank you so much for being on tonight. We are so excited. So I actually asked some of my leaders, Diamond and above, some questions that they would love to ask you. And so one of the questions was, how do you still have a positive mindset with money, leadership, when you can't be around like-minded people to help you level up? We always say, surround yourself with, other people. We're the average of the 5 people that we hang out with. So, if there's nobody in our area or that we know that we can go have lunch with, or, be around, how do we stay, how do we be around like-minded people and level ourselves up?
Well, for one, it's not their responsibility, Amanda. It's no one else. Not the 5 people you're around is not the responsibility. It's your responsibility. So there again, you have given your power away to supposedly the 5 who at any moment, can flake on you. At any moment they could go rogue, they could ghost. And so I know for me, it is about me. It is called self-development. Not 5 people around me development. It is self-development. Now, we can be in a mastermind, which we are, several of us have several masterminds that vitally important to growth and prosperity in all areas. So that can be very functional and very, very good for our soul and our mind. But ultimately, it comes up to you and down to you. It is exactly an inner work, because your own spouse can go rogue on you. They can go Kay is witnesses in our household. One rises and the other stays the same. So the one that rose, you can either rise with them or they're going to move forward. They're going to move on. My husband knew this. And at moments it was flip-flop. It seems like he just gets it. I have to go study it. And, I'll go, oh, Dave, he goes, like, I know, because he's so service driven. I'm a little more economical driven. So he teaches me the service side of life, which has helped us economically so big. So no excuses, Amanda. No excuses for any of you not to get what you need. Allie said it. I go to the podcast. Find a mentor. My mentors, a lot of them are dead. They passed away a long time ago, but their words live on, their voices live on, and I go to them for wisdom. And I've never allowed anyone else to have that kind of influence on me when I know that at any moment they may say or do something that doesn't feel right. However, I am just like all of you. I love the companionship. I love to be around like-minded people and to be fed. But I know that the work truly comes from me first thing in the morning, and then the last thing before I go to bed. And in between, I catch sound bites. But it's let's do it ourselves. Let's self-develop. Great question.
Ooh, that was a good one. Okay, so
Don't y'all feel sorry for Kay sometimes? I'm like, go on. There you go.
I'm like, I just need a moment. Can you just let me cry? Like, come on.
Okay. Go
She's
ahead.
like, oh, okay. Oh, okay, so Emily, you are next, girlfriend.
My God, can you hear me?
Yes. Hi, Emily.
Hi, I'm so happy to have you on. This is so,
Oh,
so exciting.
thank you. All right, Emily, this is going to
Okay.
be good. What do you got for me?
Okay, so when I actually took the most time thinking about this one, I'm just kidding. This actually came up immediately in my head. And this was something that I'm super anxious for you to talk about. So, what I've been noticing recently, I feel like within the last month or two, of what I feel as if is holding people back from growing their team is the fear of not being able to handle, I guess, or train their team properly. And they're new and just trying to start their own business, right? Or maybe even you're not new, but you're laser focused on this goal, but you're trying to like break this wall down of handling both, if that makes sense. You know, focusing on yourself, but also growing your team. So can you give us a little advice and as far as that and what
Is this for you, Emily, a leader or somebody that's just brand new?
so someone who's new. So for the codes, I have a ton of people who are new on my team who have the codes and they're like fired up, they're enrolling customers, but now they got to use the codes. They got to use 10 this month, 10 next month, for example. And I feel as if there's that, you know, they've told me, how can I do this if I'm just starting my business? How am I going to help others right now?
Okay, so my husband was a manager in a company for several decades, and he would come to me, and he managed several people, and he would say, "Wow, if I could just take this attribute and this one and put it all together, I'd have the right salesman, just the perfect salesman." I said, "Never going to happen. That's not the solution. The solution is finding the qualities of each one that is so strong so that they feel powerful when they go out, and then balancing it out with the others if whatever they need. Like one who's great at sales, terrible at follow-up. So how can you help and try to changing that salesman into a follow-up guy, because then that's going to crush the sales. So here's what you do. You're going to have people that are brand new, that are really gung-ho at recruiting. Emily, you as a leader already have the system in place for them that they can plug into. So this is a plug and play business. And so what a leader does is they tell their organization, their newbies, I don't want you to focus on anything right now other than let's get these codes out there. I will help take care of the rest, because you want to plug and play all day long with them. So let them play, plug them into your system, into your training. You may have to step it up and as well and say, okay, every Monday we're going to do a 30-minute training with all the newbies. They're the only ones that are able to come to this, the newbies and whoever recruited them. And so that might be the solution. It's a little Band-Aid that you can use for the next 2 months or so until they're up and running. Because the last thing that I would want to do is stifle that growth. We all want those CAB bonuses. Every single one of us, we want recruiting. We want it to go through the roof. The last thing that I want them to think is they've got to stop and train. Okay? We don't want that. So I would look at your systems. Are they in play? Can they come in very quickly with a newbie, whether it's 5 or 10, and help them get started to flip those codes right around? And so, because we want to get a check in the mail to them. That's the most important thing. Them getting their customers, getting fast start qualified, and getting those first checks. We don't want to lose anybody here. So take the pressure off them with that. Say, oh, honey, you don't need to worry about that. I've been doing this for X amount of years. I've got the system for that. All I want you to do right now is focus on getting your host to post down, getting your asks down, getting those codes into play, and then letting them get theirs. And everybody's going to come collectively together. We're going to do this weekly Zoom, whatever you need. If you don't already have that in place, quickly today, you know how to train somebody new. I would never put that kind of pressure on them. Then they'll watch. And then the next time, let them do a little segment of it. Just let them speak for a minute. Whoever is recruiting the most, let them have a little bit of that platform so that their new people see, hey, they're only a week in, but they're getting a little bit of this platform. And it can't be simply as, how'd you get 10 people? Because it's the new blood that gets us all boiled up and all excited. It's not hearing you don't have to do it all. Very quickly start raising up that new person into a new leader. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry, I couldn't unmute myself.
Okay.
Yeah, that helped a lot.
Okay.
Love that.
All right,
Thank you
let's go
so
get
much.
those codes, man. Let's get those cab bonuses coming in. Good question. All right. Who's next?
I love it. I love it so much. Allie has a question. I'm so excited to hear it.
Mhm.
Yes. Okay. So I'm super excited because I think this relates to people of all ranks in the business, but it's something I've been hearing from all over my team, old, new, everything. So I have people who, they've grown to maybe Ruby, they've grown to Emerald, Diamond, even, Triple Diamond, and people have left their team, of course. But I have some leaders who are really struggling because after they've had people who were so in and left, they're having a hard time like finding that confidence because they feel like they failed that person in some way. Like they're feeling responsibility for the DTs who left success or lack of, and therefore that's hindering them. So I was wondering if you could speak on that. Like some people leave, how do you kind of pick yourself back up? Because that is disappointing.
Well, all right. So for one, it is disappointing. It's very, I'll look at it like they left me too. Is there anything differently that I could have done? And then I realized over decades that people leave. And then you ask yourself that leadership question. You don't beat yourself up over it, but you sit with yourself and you go, okay, is there anything that I could have done better? It's just like raising a child. You later you go, is there anything that I could have done better? And do like I did with my daughter, then apologize. And you might can get some of them back. Say, look, I apologize. I probably could have done better. Is there anything I could have done better? I used to ask people, Allie, why'd you leave? But tell me the real reason that you left. And it's very eye-opening, and it's very smart, and it also humbles you. And it shows that you really cared about them. And you'll find the answer to be very interesting. And it will be something like this. I just didn't think I could do it anymore. I just didn't think I had it in me. I just got tired of not working. I got tired of myself. They won't usually say that, but that's really what they're saying. So then you realize, okay, there's really nothing that I could have done. And some will be very much a victim. They're a victim in every area of their life. So let them kind of roll on away. Okay, there's nothing that you could have done for them either. Now, if they come to you and they do say some things, hey, aha moment, wake up, leader, and get better. Put the system in place that they're talking about, but have it be more effective. Maybe it's okay. I just didn't think you cared. How come? Did I not show up for you? But you also have to protect yourself because you're going to have 10 different opinions because they're 10 different people seeing 10 different things. And it's just like friends would come to me tiptoeing around whether they wanted to stay married or not. And it's interesting how when they decide they don't, they suddenly, their husband has all these problems. Well, didn't you see those yesterday? But they had to justify the reason. And so a lot of distributors will justify the reason. They will make things up. We all do it. Oh, I didn't really like the way she said this or the way this happened. They just quit. Now, here's the thing. We don't focus on people quitting where we're in our own mojo. We don't have time for it. And so you fight for what, again, it goes back to fighting for what you want, and you decide, I need new blood. The first 3,000 people that came into It Works quit. I absolutely ruined them. I learned through them. I learned how to talk about the product that nobody had any knowledge of. I learned how to present the compensation plan. I put into play the steps to success because of it. I learned so much more by them quitting than by them hanging on by a thread. And so instead of feeling sorry for yourself, whoever's ever feeling this way, stop it. There's no owner in a company that would do that. They would look at, is there a better system I could have put in place? Could I have been a more effective leader? Could I have shown up more? Ask yourself these questions and then get quiet. You already know the answer. But you also know this, you are running a business. You can't babysit people. You have to decide who you want to work with and work with them. And some of the others may not like that, but we can't stay back where they are. So just get very frank with who you are and understand that some people, no matter how, I have poured into people for a decade that left, that I could not have given them any more knowledge. I could have not have given them any more time, any more recognition, and they still left. Why? People do that. I stopped asking. Instead, I started looking within and saying, is there anything more that I could have done? Did I treat them right? And most of the time, yes, you did. They decided to leave. That's what I love about our industry. We can come and we can go. But sometimes we take it way too hard because we are female. The men just blow it off. They're just off and running. But we think, oh my gosh, it's me. I should have done this. I should have done that. And we just blame ourselves and blame ourselves. How is that helping? When you should just step back, take a look at it, ask yourself some very important questions, and decide to go after the next rank. I'm telling you, you will stay stuck as though you have quit. Right there with them. It will keep you in Stucksville for years, trying to wonder why Sue left your team, who was never really in your team. She acted like she was, and it seemed active. However, she had stopped the activity years ago. And you're worried about her and someone else, when I want you to be so caught up in progressing and going to the next rank that when they leave, you can say, I loved having you in. You were awesome. Good luck with where you're going. We will miss you. So that's how I would do it. Yes.
That was amazing.
And you never want to burn your bridges. See, a lot of people burn their bridges. They leave and they burn and they burn and they burn. You've never heard me do that with anybody or anything. You never know who will want to come back. So you never burn your bridges. You leave with grace. You leave with integrity. You leave with honesty. And when they leave, you allow yourself to stay in integrity and in honesty, and you stay always as a businesswoman. Always. You want to say the things, but don't do it. Don't go down that path. Just cut them off the team page, let them go, stay focused, because your team loves to gossip. They love to get caught up in it, and we don't have time for that. Okay.
And I think the biggest thing you've taught me over the years, I mean, gosh, if you talk about, I mean, you guys are all, we're all here together on the Zoom tonight. And if you're watching the replay, you've got one of the most loyal leaders speaking life into you right now. I mean, here's a woman who sat across from me over coffee today with tears in her eyes because she's just like, I care so much. I care about everybody. I want everyone to succeed. Look at this business and what it's done for me. This is what it can do for them. It can totally change their life. I mean, her heart is so massive for you. I wish like I had like a camera on her when she's talking about how much she wants you to succeed. So when you look at loyalty, you look at someone like her who said, I'm committed. I'm going to give this everything I have. And when I need to give it more, I'm going to turn the faucet on and I'm going to crank it up and I'm going to go even bigger and I'm going to do a podcast so I can love on them, so that I can breathe life into them. So when you've got someone like Pam here that I know from being her daughter cares so deeply, but also knows when it comes to this industry, its consistency is everything. This business pays you for the time that you commit to it, without a doubt. And Carla Burns and I were talking about that yesterday because we were just like, we're so blessed to have the income that we have, to have worked the years that we've worked, and to know that this is our baseline. Like, we're really blessed. And that's what I want you all to know, is that is so there for you. That big dream that you have, that big why you have. And that leads me to our question that came across our team. And I love this question so much because I have been there through so much in my lifetime. And the question is about not loyalty, but whys. About being consistent and staying connected to your why. You know, when you think about the last 20 plus years that you've been building, how is there a how-to, is there a platform, is there a way that we can stay connected to our whys, or is this about evolution through our whys? And what could you speak to that? And even to the person, mom, that you think about them, that they started maybe this year, maybe last month, and they're like, oh my gosh, here I am, and I joined for $500 a month. Maybe you're already making that, and now you've got to dream again. And so I think if we talk about whys here, this is just going to open up so much for them for what's to come.
Well, I loved what you said, the evolution of the why. And maybe that's another book. All right. The evolution of the why. So in the beginning, my why was, let's make money. My first business in the industry was, I joined to make the money. I'm not embarrassed by that. I think a lot of people are like so embarrassed. They're all here to make money. Let's just get over it and say it out loud and say, I'm here to make bank. And it was a lot. I mean, I originally started for $1,000 a month, which was a lot in 1994. For part-time work, I mean, they were paying us dollars, like under 10 for part-time work. So I would have to work a lot, 100 hours to make $1,000. And so to work that, to make that spare time was tremendous. It still is today. And so in the beginning, my why was solely driven for the income. And I knew that I needed to make the money first. And so a lot of times we go, wasn't that being selfish? No, it is, but no, it's not. We have to be. What business owner doesn't have that on their mind? They develop something, they want to make money, they want to make it to feed their family, They want to make money for security. They want to make money to put the money back into their business, which was an evolving why for me. In the beginning, I'm not an owner, I'm a distributor. And in order to justify my time to my husband, who was saying we need extra money, I had to make the bank. And so in order to do that, I took it seriously. I had to learn how to gather customers and sponsor distributors. That's how we make money. We lose sight of that so quickly. And the reason I am so successful in this industry is I've never lost sight of what pays me. It is not a beautiful training system. It is not, even though that eventually made me money, but in the beginning, we're talking about evolution of why, it was me bringing in new customers and new distributors. And then I just had a question in another Zoom, which so relates to this, just an hour before this one. When somebody said, well, what about customers? Customers are coming into your organization to send you fast start bonuses and leadership bonuses and residual income. Your focus should be mainly on distributorships and then having those distributors become qualified. That's it. How do I get paid? Qualified distributors. What does that mean? They gather customers, at least enough customers to qualify them. A qualified box, correct? Yes. So our focus is, I believe, is flip-flopped. And we're wondering, well, how can I get my cabs back? Focus on distributorships. Focus on asking people to look at being a distributor, because it's the old South adage. You can always go down. It's hard to come back up. What does that mean? I'm going down. Oh, no, I don't want to be a distributor. Great. Why don't you try the products? Become a customer. So why don't we train our distributors differently so that we can accomplish what our goal is, which is to make money? Be excited about that. So my excitement came honestly for money. That's a great why for me. I was not service driven. I was not wanting to give back. I had to give to us. I had to give to my family first. And I had to show other people that that was possible for them. Right? Oh, I made $1,000 a month. You can too. Now let me see if I can double that. And I did. Oh, wow. I am on my way. Let me see if I can double that. I'll never forget the first check that caused me to shake. And I don't know why I took this amount, but this is when we got paper checks. So the check came in the mail. Lynn was there, Kay. Lynn, Laney's mom, she was there because she was in my organization. And we were waiting for the check to come. We knew the check was on its way. And so she came. She's standing above me at my desk. I'm at my desk. I open the envelope. I pull it out, and I am shaking so much. And I start running around the house. Remember, we had that circle. You could run the circle. Yeah, I used to run that circle. And she's chasing me, trying to get the check out of my hand. Finally, she gets it. We start jumping up and down together because she knew I'm right behind her. I am behind her. She recruited me. I am behind her. My check is coming. If I just do what she did, I'm going to get it too. $7,000 was that check. That's a lot of money. I was shouting from the rooftop. I wanted to run up and down the street. We should be like that for every check we get, because it just shows gratitude and increase. Gratitude and increase. I was almost as excited for my first check, which was $15.78, simply because they paid me. They paid me for what I had done. Even though it was $15.78, I knew that if I did more, my check would raise. And it did. It would rise, and it did. And so I just kept going, and I kept going. And then as the income really started to come in, I could start changing my why. I could start evolving my why. My why could start becoming more service driven, more gives back. And so the why evolves. And then you start your own company, such as what we did. And now it's not at all about me. And you want to talk about increase? So you start focusing on Allie's check and Amanda's check and Emily's check and Kay's check, and how can I get their checks? How can I share that my knowledge with them? This is when you get to ambassador, okay? So you do everything, you just go. Get to ambassador. Go as hard, as fast, or you can go slow and painful. And so what I did is I just adopted the pain along the way. What does that mean? Fear. Fear will always be with you. It never leaves. Every time you break through your money mindset to the next level, you're just breaking through fear. And so whenever I got stuck, it's because I was stuck within me. It had nothing to do with the outside, because other people are growing. If you're not growing and your next door neighbor is, it's about you. So I understood that. My mentor made $1 million a month. That's a lot of mentorship right there. And I'm telling you, he took nothing off of no one and nobody. It was his focus and drive. He didn't go ambassador till he stopped. He got to, his goal was $1 million a month. And you either were going with him or without. It was, that was his desire. That was his why. And along the way, he created millionaires. It happened through that. See, I know now that if I don't do it first, why do you think you can? So I am telling all of you to stop fooling around, to stop trying to find some why that feels holistic. You know, I'm telling you, it happens as you grow through it. It doesn't need to be any better than that. What was every minister after? More members, bigger church, bigger message, bigger audience in the bigger televisions, more cameras, right? Because it costs money to do that. So I want you to have the house and the car and all the trips and all the things, because that shows the world that network marketing works. But I don't want you to go in debt over them. I want you to pay for them. And I don't want you to feel guilty over them. It's time to get over the guilt. There's not a person in America today that is not worried about money. If anything, we are hoarding what we have, but not sharing it with the world. We have got to share it more, and we've got to share the opportunity. So I know from without a shadow of a doubt that my focus on changing my family's legacy, I talked about it all the time. My children will put a picture of me over their mantle. And I will not be embarrassed by that, because I will have changed their legacy. My grandsons, no matter what they choose to do or be, they know that they have options. They'll have to work for it, but they will have options that maybe perhaps I couldn't even give my own kids. And I'm thankful for that. Mother Teresa said it best, and I've never forgotten her words. If we will all go home and take care of our own, think about this quote for the rest of your life, then this world would be a better place. And isn't that true? So let's take care of ourselves, our own first. Show the way. Show the way. How do you do that? You stay focused. When you're on the phone, on your business, you focus in on your phone and on your business. With your kids, you focus with your kids and only with your kids. Decide the hours that you want to work and never compromise that, because you're compromising your business. Stay focused more than ever. Decide that your why is so big, it scares you. Go for the big money. $1 million a month. There's more than that in our comp plan. Everyone is too scared about that. I'm not. That does not frighten me. That excites me. Do you know how many lives that person has changed? Millions of lives to do that. And we're in more countries. We were only in one country when he did that. One country, the US, on a minimum phone bill of $20 to $25 average per customer. Why did he do it? Because he focused on distributorships. He built a massive tribe of people. Massive tribe. I love getting customers just like the rest of you, but I'm telling you, they are to help people become commission qualified if you need to. But your focus, everyone on this exact Zoom tonight, every single one of you should be bringing in more distributors than customers. You just got your focus wrong. That's okay. You fixed it right now. It's fixed. I've got some magic pixie dust. Let me find it. I will put it right into this Zoom, and it will touch all of you in the heart, because that's where it needs to touch you. And you need to know that you are worth it. You are worth it. Your family is worth it. Your teams are worth it, and your team to come. All of the people that are waiting to come into your organization. And then lastly, I will leave you with this. You must pray, and pray big over your team. Pray over, put the advertisement out there through prayer, how awesome your team is. Do not talk about them in the way that you think that they are. Talk about them in the way that you see that they are. Talk about them in glowing terms, in terms that they are recruiters, that they get it, that they understand it, that their volume is through the roof. That's how you pray over your team. That's all prayer is calling it out before you ever have it. That's what he means by prayer. And all of you are saying, God, please help me. He has. He sent you the opportunity. He's already answered that prayer. Now he says it's up to you. You got to step into full-on action. I've given you everything. It's right here. It's full on right here. Come on, go do it. Just go do it. I've given you everything. And so pray over your team, the team that you truly see. They may not look like that right now, but I'm telling you, I don't talk about you all the way that I hear you talk about your team. I've got great leadership. I have people that are working. I have people that show up every day. I have a team that loves to recruit. I have a team that loves on their customers, that continues to keep their customers. I have a team that knows how to rock out reels. I have a team that knows how to TikTok. I have a team that is awesome on host to post on Facebook. I have a team that pours back into their team in all the right ways. They're not moms to their team, they're business owners to their team. They know how to teach and they know how to train. That's the kind of team that we have. I have $1 million a month earners on my team. That's who I have.
Wow. How's everyone feeling now? I think we're either going to sleep really, really well or we're not going to sleep at all. I think that's the general consensus because our minds are just feeling so, I don't know, feeling so good and our hearts are so full. Thank you so much. That was
You're welcome. And everyone knows how much I love and appreciate them. So I'll close with that. Thank you for having me on, everyone. Love you
Thanks,
so much.
everybody. This was incredible. Can't wait to see you guys soar.